This is Eagle Owl, and today I will be talking about Jalen Hurts. Yes, he's in sponge mode. Also, we got to talk about the Alabama cornerback, Terrion Arnold. Do he have a chance of being a Philadelphia Eagle? Also, we got to talk about Tyler Steen and Nakobe Dean, but let's get straight into it. All right, so before we get straight into the topics, I have to talk about the topic that was burning, that was on fire yesterday morning, Bill Belichick. So ESPN wrote an article about Bill Belichick, teams he had interest in, and why the offseason failed. And it was some wacky things going on between, it seemed like, Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick, how Robert Kraft stopped Bill Belichick from going to the Falcons, but the Eagles were in there. And yes, Howie Roseman had a conversation, according to this article, with Bill Belichick, and no offer was made. But that's really interesting because it could have been conversations like, look, we're going to give Nick Sirianni a shot, but if he mess up, we'll give you a call. It could have been one of those. And a lot of people are poo-pooing at the idea of Bill Belichick, but Bill Belichick is one hell of a coach. Now, we had a GM for him. Him picking talent and signing guys, that's not Bill Belichick. But to say Bill Belichick is not a good coach, I think it's utterly ridiculous. You don't win the amount of reigns or the amount of success he have just being a mediocre coach. Now, of course, he had one of the greatest, if not the greatest quarterback of all time. But Bill Belichick, remember, those defense, when they won the Super Bowl, was always in that top five-ish. So Bill Belichick know how to coach. Even what the year they had with Matt Jones, the defense played up to par, but Matt Jones just couldn't get it right. So again, to think Bill Belichick is a scrub, I don't think it's true. Now, him picking talent, yes, I agree with everybody with that. He can't pick talent, but that's why you got Howie Roseman. He'll have a team around him. He won't be the GM and the head coach. He'll just be the head coach. But I like that Howie Roseman and upper management ownership and Mr. Laurie gave Nick Sirianni a shot to redeem himself. He still went to the playoffs. He still did what he had to do, even though it was an epic collapse. Nick Sirianni tried his best, keeping the team under control, and it just got out of hand. It definitely just got out of hand. But speaking of, out of control, separation of the team, Jalen Hurts actually spoke about this and how or what he learned from last year. But let me go ahead and play this clip.
Situation, everything that we experience, obviously there is something you can learn from it, and I think the importance of us just continue to navigate things together, stay together, the importance of the work, the foundation that we have for ourselves, and the culture that we live by. I think those things are kind of reinforced. I think those things have come up in terms of importance. And so, you have the off-season program, you have every individual in this building attacking different things to try and better themselves and help the team and understand, you get to a point where everybody's given a role and everybody's understanding their responsibility they hold for this team. And so just attacking that, but I think the number one thing is understanding the work comes first and everything.
That's true, Coach.
See, he mentioned it like this year, really want the guys to stick together. You seen it in their facial expressions. They never really said it, but you could tell it was separation. Signing a lot of free agents, separation between the coaches and players. It was definitely a divide. But Jalen Hurts is like, we learned from that year. Now it's time to move on. Now, Jalen Hurts said something that bothered a lot of fans in his press conference because he was asked about Kellen Moore and, what is Kellen Moore bringing and how can he change things? And this is what he had to say.
I'm just in sponge mode. I'm letting them do what it is they're going to do, and then we kind of adjust from there. I think the thing that we all have to understand is the importance of a foundation in something. And so I want the coaches to, declare their foundation in terms of what they want something to be, how they want it to look, and then obviously you're gonna adjust from there. I think when that foundation isn't as strong as you want it to be, it may not, last as long or be as good in the end. And so that's something that we don't want to happen. So I'm just trusting the process in terms of what they're doing, what Coach Kellen is doing, Coach Doug, and everyone, and I'm just being a player, trying to learn as much as I can.
You see, he said he's in sponge mode. He's really, just trying to soak in everything Kellen Moore is saying. Pause, learn from Kellen Moore. And a lot of fans didn't like it that he used that because they was like, do sponges actually grow? This and that. Trying to be, literal and saying, oh, here he go with the quotes, this and that. Like, come on, man. I honestly, I'm starting to see it again. Just like the year before we went to the Super Bowl, the hate is coming right back around to Jalen Hurts. Don't know why. I seen the whole season of last year, but Jalen Hurts, I'm telling you, low key is getting a lot of hate from the fans. A lot. And there's a lot of pressure on him. Like everything he say, people are overcritical, overthinking, and like just let the guy recover. Let him recover. Yes, was there a lot of turnover? Sure. Was he hurt damn near the whole year? I believe so. He had never admitted, but I believe he was hurt most of the year. I do. And again, a lot of fans are on his back. And I didn't realize it until I really started reading the comments. I'm like, yo, people really hating on Jalen Hurts. No matter where I go, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. But he got a chance to prove a lot of people wrong. And the people were waiting for this moment, including the fans. People were waiting for this moment. And nah, Jalen Hurts ain't gonna back down. He's gonna show he's that guy. He's the franchise quarterback. It's definitely gonna show. But speaking of somebody that I got something to prove, Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean spoke to the press, and this is what he had to say as far as injury.
How's your foot? Can you walk us through the process that you've had to endure since?
Yeah. Of course, got hurt, had surgery. Had got the plate and everything out, and now we just continue to work through it and build strength to get stronger.
Are you ready? Are you 100%?
We getting there soon.
When do you think you'll be ready?
Soon.
How did you deal with the mental side?
And I'm excited for Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean, we know the things he did in college. We seen flashes his rookie year. Sophomore year, I think it was too much on his plate. We should have found a way to keep TJ Edwards, but they came into the year saying you're going to be the guy, and he just simply wasn't ready. And the injuries, man, it was ridiculous. I said something like, yo, so now somebody step on his foot. It felt like he was hurt. It got so bad, he had to basically, he missed a year. So we got a lot to prove because a lot of people going into this draft like, yo, you got to get a linebacker. People are low key want to phase Nakobe Dean out. People think we should get a really good vet linebacker and a rookie and let Nakobe Dean rotate. That's a lot of people mindset. But Nakobe Dean, another guy, he ain't going out without a fight. He's gonna ball. He's gonna show that he's ready, and he just got a lot to prove. And it's guys, that retired as a GOAT of the Eagles, people want it gone. Jason Kelsey mentioned it. At one point, people wanted him gone, but he turned it around. Brandon Graham, before the Super Bowl stuff, a lot of people was like, yo, why we didn't get the safety Seattle guy, I can't think of his name right now, over Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham dealt with a lot of heat from the fans and the media, but he turned it around. So dudes can turn it around. You got to respond. Nakobe Dean has to respond. A lot to prove. I believe in him. I believe in Nakobe Dean. I believe he can turn it around. But at the same time, I still do believe you should bring in somebody. Got to bring in somebody because all I've been hearing about Nakobe Dean so far, even being drafted, injury, injury, injury. And I can't bank all the way on that, but I can bank on that Nakobe Dean. He's going to turn it around. He's going to turn it around. I believe he play at least 13, 14 games. I'm booking it. I believe he plays at least 13, 14 games, if not the whole season. All right. So let's talk about an Alabama guy. Let's talk about him. Terrion Arnold. Eagles had a visit with him. Seemed like it went well. Why do you believe that, Eagle Al? Even though this is not him talking to the Eagles or anything, but let me play this clip.
At a young age, I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, I tell people all the time when it comes to playing football, I feel like this is something I was born to do. Like, you got guys like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, like they were born to play basketball. And I feel like Brian Dawkins, Deion Sanders, guys like that were born to play football, and I'm one of them. So at a young age, I knew very, very early this is something that I was going to do.
Anybody that compares themselves to Brian Dawkins, I'm all in. I'm all in. He's a guy I didn't mention. I've been talking about Cooper DeJean or Kool-Aid because I believe he's a guy that might be out of reach. I was saying like he's projected to go like mid-round. But do the Eagles have assets to trade up to go get him? Especially if he fall a bit? Absolutely. I like him. Prototypical corner. Not over 6 feet. You could say 6 feet. Some people say 5'11", then 3/4. He ran about a 4.5. Physical, big hitter. He compared himself to Brian Dawkins. Play with heart. Honestly, his problem is playing in the zone, ironically. And you know what Vic Fangio like to do, but Vic Fangio will clean that up. And sometimes he could be a little too physical, which means penalties. Especially in the NFL. The NFL don't want you hip drop tackling. So being a little too physical, he probably had to tone it down a bit coming into the NFL. But everything you want in a corner, especially an outside corner, he's it. He's that guy. So Eagles, I wouldn't be surprised if they trade up for him. Like even Adam Schefter said on the Fanatic that look at the Eagles, pattern. Traded up for Jordan Davis. I'm summing up what Adam Schefter said. Traded up for Jordan Davis. You traded up for Devontae Smith. That been our MO, trading up. Even if we traded up one spot for Jalen Carter, that's what we do. That's what we do. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a guy we really want. We'll move up a couple spots to go get him, like a Arnold. Now, I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. The dude is a baller. He's a baller. If you see him falling and you can possibly get him, why not? Like you said, he's built for this football. He's built for this football game. So I like guys like that. Just probably, unfortunately, he probably had to sit out a year. But he's a baller and he will be ready to go. He's a day one starter, especially if James Bradbury can't get it right. All right, so let's talk about the last topic of the day. Tyler Steen. Tyler Steen is projected to start. They're saying his locker is near the starting O-lineman. So that is a sign that he will start. And I seen 50-50 stuff on this. I seen more, is he ready? He did struggle against Dallas, but he had to deal, in my opinion, he had to deal with Micah Parsons and D Law. His first time starting? That's a lot. That's a lot. He struggled a bit that game, but he did some. I love that he did that, caused us to win the game is when Jalen Hurts fumbled. I believe it was Jalen Hurts that fumbled. He landed right on the ball to recover a fumble. I didn't care how he was the rest of the game. But that recovery damn near saved the game. So Tyler Steen, of course, he got stuff to work on, and I believe he will work on it. He's in Stoutland University right now. He's only going to get better. He's only going to get better. Of course, the Eagles might take another guard, a tackle in the draft, but I believe in Tyler Steen. I do. And I believe he's going to play at a high level. And if not, well, somebody going to take his spot. If not, that's all I got to say. All I got to say about that. But hey, man, what do you think? How do you feel about the news today? Jalen Hurts Bill Belichick, Arnold, Nakobe Dean. But this is Eagle Al, man. I'm up.